Well, one of the cops actually asked Orlando about Tupac's murder as he was dying to try to get a death confession.
It's still, that's still, definitely a police, one of my gang guys, Ray Richardson. Ray Richardson did go toward the unit, because he was on the unit, how they roll you in. And I think Ray approached him and said something to him. And then Ray subsequently told me, because he asked him, about the shooting. And then he said about the Tupac thing. And he said, go to hell. He told Ray where to go,
Told him to go to hell.
I don't know if it was to hell or where, but it wasn't nice. Ray Richardson would have to tell you. But that was the response that he got. So Ray came off and they went on anyway.
And, I mean, up to this point, had you ever questioned Orlando about the Tupac shooting or no?
Never saw him until
Never saw him. Okay. What's ironic about this whole situation is that I interviewed Chris Carroll, who was the first responder in Las Vegas during the Tupac shooting. And he said as he pulled Tupac out of the car and he tried to get a death confession out of him, when Tupac realized he was a cop, he said, "Fuck you," and then slipped into a coma and ultimately ended up dying.
I looked at him once again. I said, "What happened? Who did this? Who shot you?" And now he's looking at me, so we're looking at each other in the eyes. And this is kind of the first time he's even acknowledging my presence. And he looked at me, and I could tell he was getting a breath together to tell me. And he looked me right in the eyes, and we looked at each other, and he said, "Fuck you." And he said it just like that, with the emphasis on that F to really let me know. That's how he felt. So he said that, and right after he said it, he just started gurgling, and you could tell he was in bad shape, and his eyes, he's starting to lose consciousness then, and his eyes roll back. And as it turns out, that would be his last conscious moment and his last words.
And it's so interesting how these two men, who are always going to be tied together in this twisted type of way, both of them told the cops to go fuck themselves as they're trying to get death confessions out of them.
Well, that's the mentality.
It's the mentality, yeah.
To the old gangsters back in the day when they get ready to go to the what they call it, when they go to execute them, they go down hard.
Yeah.
They go down hard.
I mean, after after Orlando passes away, did more information come out about the Tupac shooting? Because, a lot of times people are more prone to talk about someone when they're no longer there.
Well, yeah, things came out, but from the streets, at least my unit and us, we were always convinced who it was, Matter of fact, as it came to me with my sergeant, Bobby Baker and them, they started investigating the Tupac shooting the day after and started getting information. Matter of fact, I remember Sergeant Baker found the white Cadillac that they were in that was the bullet holes or something were being repaired at a body shop that we were familiar with. Yeah. And Bobby ended up going there. I think found out it was a rental car or something, but the actual car. Excuse me. And then during the raids that we conducted, at least at some point, doing it, they thought they found a gun at a stash house in Southside that was similar caliber and all that. That eventually I heard the stories that sheriffs eventually got involved or something and did the ballistics on the type of weapon. How that came out, I don't know, because at the time the sheriff had taken over, was working with Las Vegas and that kind of stuff. All those things started happening